So you've been stuffing yourself over the festive period, I'm sure, thinking about the new year, New Year's resolutions as always. But today, there's been quite a serious report out which says that almost 80% of men and more than 6 out of 10 middle-aged women are either overweight or obese.
It's a staggering figure, actually, isn't it? And it's lack of exercise, also drinking too much are to blame. Those aged between 40 and 60 are being asked to take a health survey to see if they can change their lifestyles for the better. And it's been revealed that more than 15 million people are living with a long-term health condition.
4 out of 5 adults are putting themselves at risk of diseases because of their busy lives.
And the figures show that because of the pitfalls of modern life, there has also been a rise in obesity, and the number of those with type 2 diabetes has doubled in the last 2 decades. So it is having an effect on people.
Well, Dr. Heaversedge is here. It appears like there's no sort of good news for any of us between 40 and 60. I mean, most of us appear to, I think, perhaps put ourselves at the bottom of the list when it comes to looking after who. We look after everybody else, possibly, in our age group.
That's exactly right, I think. So a couple of things happen. So our unhealthy lifestyles tend to catch up with us at this sort of age. Of course, what we then see is we start to see, if you like, the impact. So we start to see that we are putting on weight, we're perhaps less active than we were, and increasingly we see people between 40 and 60 starting to develop some of those diseases, those illnesses that we know are related with unhealthy lifestyles, like diabetes.
In our 20s and 30s, we can put a bit of weight on, lose it quite quickly.
Exactly.
And then in our 40s, you sort of find it's different. You can't really lose it as fast.
Well, and of course we're often more active at that age. But as you say, then as we head into our sort of middle ages, if you like, we've got other priorities. So often we're carers. Perhaps we've got kids to pick up from school. People are often carers also for more elderly relatives. Yeah. And of course the way we work now means that we're often very sedentary. So we spend a lot of our time at a desk, and we don't get the activity that we used to. So what happens is we don't prioritise ourselves and our own health as much as we should.
So what's the answer then? Because obviously people have got those priorities, that's not going to change. I mean, Public Health England are recommending that everybody takes this health quiz, but surely for those people who, you know, are eating too much, drinking too much, not doing enough exercise, they kind of know that, don't they? You know, they don't. Do they need a quiz that says, actually, you know, this is how bad the situation is for you?
So I think, well, you're right. I think most of us, particularly, you know, as we're into our sort of 40s, 50s, 60s, we kind of know, we feel more uncomfortable, we know we've put on some weight, we know we're not as active as we should be. Those messages have got through. What's great about the quiz, I think, is that it's quite personalised, so it helps identify which things you should target for yourself, because for most of us, probably there are some slightly different things that we should focus on, whether it's around activity or around alcohol or around perhaps our eating habits. So I think that bit's really quite helpful, is that it's much more specific to us as individuals, and it then links with some helpful things that you can do, because I think a lot of the time
easy meals and so. Is this
so
the
easy
one
meals
quiz?
Yeah, so this is
the
so and it allows you to then think about things like easy meals. There are apps to support getting more active,
but the thing is, if
things
you're
like that. So it's good.
I think if you're sort of 2 stone overweight and you've got into the habit of sort of grazing all day and looking after kids and whatever, all those other things that we've said you do, you know, on the app, you know, you can do 10 minutes walking a day or something, but you just think, well, what difference is that going to make?
Well, the point is it's about starting somewhere, isn't it? So it's having a very specific goal, something that you can achieve, and very often either using apps. So, I mean, apps are fantastic now because actually you can gradually, incrementally increase the amount of activity that you're doing. For some people, it's about getting connected, so starting to connect up with other people who are trying to increase the amount of activity they're doing. But it's trying to find some way, just slowly but surely, to start to increase the activity in our lives.
And if we don't, we're shortening our lives, aren't we? I mean, ultimately, we are shortening our lives.
Significantly. So we know that by changing some of these unhealthy behaviours, we'll be able to double our chances of living to 70. So it's really important. This is the opportunity, the key opportunity for people in their middle ages to make a real difference.
What do you do, John? You're quite trim. What do you do?
Oh, how kind.
Go on, no, what do you do?
After all that turkey.
Go on. Practice what you preach, tell us.
So from my point of view, because I lead quite a sedentary life, I do try to keep account of my steps. So I use an app that allows me to keep account of my steps. And I'm also now much more aware, as I'm in my middle ages, of eating less than I used to. I used to be able, as a youngster, to eat huge volumes of food. I'm now having to cut back on that a bit. So I do pay attention, yeah.
Some good advice there, Dr. Heaversedge. Thanks very much. It's nice to know you practice what you preach. And also it's particularly relevant for everybody waking up this morning, I think, who's probably had a little bit too much
All those chocolates are still in the fridge
and drink after Christmas. And they may well have a lot of leftovers,
Yeah,
but, you know, you can always just start off going for a walk, you know, start
Absolutely.
small steps and it all adds up. Thanks very much.